Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Jay over at Venom Motorsport. So we're continuing on our 92 Notch. The Cobra setup from LMR came in for the front brakes because those were on back order. So we've done the rears, and that's what we did in the last video. We converted everything from drums to disc. Now we're going to swap out the front with a new system, some cross drills and vented rotors, some Cobra calipers. We've also got from Eibach some new shocks, springs for the front and or for the back, and struts for the front. So we're going to start putting all that stuff together, sway bars, everything else, get all that stuff sorted out and done, and then make some space in the shop and get some of these boxes out of here. So we're going to dive into it. As you can see right now, we've got stock set up in here. Looks like we've got some BBK springs. I'm not really too familiar with them as far as a lowering spring goes, but let's get all this old, worn out, I don't even know what that was all about, painting it white, but anyway, let's get all this old stuff out, swap it out with all of our new stuff. Got some nice rotors, calipers, new lines, and always remember, you need this little adapter for the passenger side only. You don't need it for the driver's side, but you do need it for the passenger side. But LMR sells you everything that you need. So let's get at it and go to town. Well, guys, definitely taking off the old stuff. But before we bother putting the new rotor on and the new caliper on, which look great, we're going to end up swapping out the struts and the springs anyway. So there's a new sway bar, new end links. Really the right way to do it and the most logical way to, best use of your time, is take it all apart now. Put all the new parts in. At the very end, put the new rotors on, put the new calipers on, hook up all the lines and get everything sorted that way. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just take all of this apart, get these front struts out, get these old BBK springs out, and get the old sway bar out and start putting in all of the stuff we've got here. Clean things up in the shop, make some room. It's kind of like a bomb went off in here. So the faster we get all the new stuff put on, the faster we make a lot more room in here. So you know what they say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's get at it. All right, guys, we're making a little bit of headway here. We've got the old end links, old sway bar off. It actually was really, just kind of old and jammed in there. You get some lubrication in there to help get that stuff out, but it's out. And again, all this stuff up here is getting all repainted, so we're good that way. But we're gonna get this right and move on to the next thing now. So we're gonna prep the car up in order to pull out these old KYB struts and these old BBK springs. So we're going to take off these two bolts. These two bolts. Okay, and then that's going to detach the strut. And then up at the top, on the top side, of course, not from under here, we'll undo that and we'll be able to slide the strut out. This whole arm will be able to drop down. We'll pull the spring out, and then we'll put the new Eibach setup in, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, let's move on to the next phase. All right, guys. So what we've done is we've lowered the car down Makes life a little bit easier for you, especially since we've got to get at the nuts that are at the top of this anyway to get the strut out. But also, there is a little bit of tension because your front springs are in. So, I mean, if you just pop both of those out, like you'll notice the top one will come out easily. The bottom one, when you go to tap it out, it's got some resistance. Well, that's because the spring is pushing on it. So, best thing to do, if you don't have a hoist and you're doing it on jack stands, take a jack, put it underneath, jack it up a little bit to take the pressure off, pull the other bolt out, and then just use the jack to slowly lower the arm. Pull your spring out, clean up, the area, and put all the new stuff in. And then if you're using a hoist, if you're lucky enough to have one, I know it was a game changer for me, even though it doesn't go to max height. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's so much better than just being stuck on jack stands. But man, I did a lot of stuff on a lot of cars on jack stands. I mean, a lot of the convertible was done on jack stands. But anyway, you can bring it back up and then, put it at a comfortable position so, you're not a dumb guy and blow your back out like I've done numerous times. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. And then we'll clean this up. And then we'll start putting some new stuff on it. Probably not overly exciting parts. I'll probably time lapse this just so that we're kind of like zipping through it. And then we'll come back and we're putting some new stuff on. Alright guys, so you can see, and probably from the time lapse, we got everything out. I took a brass brush, cleaned up the all of the surface type powdery rust that's on the spindles. Got all that cleaned up. Hit it with some, basically it's like a Rust-Oleum paint. That's all it is, really. Just to freshen everything up. Customer's a huge fan of black. This guy loves black, so I figured just fresh everything up black, make it look good. It's gonna have black springs going in it, and he wants the calipers powder coated in black. So we're just gonna make it all match and look clean. And like I say, this particular Fox is gonna be not a road warrior, but it's definitely gonna be enjoyed on the street. So it's going to have some decent get up and go under the hood, and a decent suspension system on it so that you've got a sporty yet still comfortable ride, and something that you can just use when you're cruising around or going to Cars and Coffee, or some sort of cruise in, or you happen to line up against somebody at a light. And the suspension pretty much all around should be good for anything you want to do whenever you get the time to take the car out, have fun with it. So that's where we're at. So I'm gonna let that dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to start taking things apart on the other side, and then by that point this ought to be dry, and then I'll come back and we'll put the spring in. We'll put the strut in. I'll be all right. Running off minimal sleep. Put the strut in. Button it back up. Get our rotors and calipers on. Run our new brake lines. Use the adapter and everything that we've got. Get it all stuck. Get it all tight. And that side will be good. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Get the new the front sway bar in. End links. We're buttoned up for one day. And then tomorrow we'll be hitting the back. So we've got upper and lower control arms going in, new springs going in the back as well. And then we can finish running our parking brake because it has the guides, if you will, they bolt onto the lower sway bar. So no point doing all that and then taking all the way apart again because we're putting new sway bars in. So, or control arms in, sorry. My bad. Anyway, with this dry, I'm gonna get onto the other side, pull all that stuff off, and we will be back as soon as this is dry. Shouldn't take too long. All right, guys. So we put the Eibach spring in place. And you're going to use your jack to lift this back up. First, we got to put the strut back in there. There's the new strut. That's going to go in there. So we're going to do that now, and start putting everything back together on this side. Then we're going to do the other side.